What's up, everybody? I am joined by Brandon Loupos, and Brandon looks to be behind the wheel of an automobile. Brandon, what are you doing?
I'm driving irresponsibly.
In a brand new truck, it seems.
Yeah, but I'm actually not driving. My friend Sam Gibson's driving
I
because he knew. I told him we were doing this, and I was like, "Can you drive so I can, talk some smack with Carl for an hour or two?" And then he goes, "Yeah, man, no worries." He loves driving my truck too, so he's stoked.
What a great guy. Well, Brandon, I kind of feel like 2020 has been a crazy year for all of us, and I think it's been extra crazy for you. You came into the year with a lot of momentum. You just won the World Championships in January of this year. You won the Chimera A-side contest, which was the biggest purse ever in a freestyle BMX contest. You have the Olympics coming up, and you have all the momentum in the world on your side, and all of a sudden everything stops. And here we are now. So how are you?
I'm good, Kyle. Everything's been just a massive roller coaster of emotion. Like I've been through a lot of things, in my 27 years on this planet Earth, but um, nothing like what we're facing this year with the pandemic. Because at the end of the day, you're not in control of what's going on. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm always looking to be better than I was the day before. Even when I was coming up, and I wanted to be a professional BMX rider, and wanted to be who I am today. And I'm very thankful for it. But you're always in control of your result. You're always in control of your performance, and you're always in control of like the tricks you're doing. So for me, when when I won the world championship, it was like all the things started facing up, especially you know take having, like we said, having all the momentum in the world. I was riding really good. I did what I had to do well these events. I got second in simple session after Chimera, and then the world stopped. Like pretty much right after simple session. That was my last event, and that was in February. So ever since the pandemic started, man, it was just it was crazy. I was living in North Carolina at the time when the shutdown first happened, and we had a like Daniel Dares and the local pros and stuff. We all got together and just created our own little bubble and just said, look, like let's just see each other here at the skate park, and that's it. No one goes to the supermarkets. Everyone gets their groceries delivered. No one sees anyone else, and if you do, you can't come back for 2 weeks. And it was a pretty gnarly situation, and it was kind of in a way toxic because we're so used to traveling and seeing new people, and it just pretty much like all that just stopped, and you're being told like you can't see anyone, you can't do anything you want to do. You can, and if you want to ride, you got to ride this park at this time, otherwise don't come. And as freestyle BMX riders, we hate being told what to do or how to do what we'd love to do. And given the circumstances, yes, it is appropriate, but it was just one of those things that was really hard to get used to. And, I went through like, I think 6 months of just riding Daniels every single day when, a lot of us like Justin and Paris and would go ride Carey every now and again, or go ride Marsh Creek, or we'd be traveling the globe, riding different skate parks all the time, different contest courses, seeing different places of Earth. Like, it was just extremely different. So it was just one of those things that it was hard for me to get used to. And, as soon as the Olympics got postponed in April, I was just crushed, man. Like, I was depressed for like I think like a month, not because of, I was just so ready, man. Like I felt like I was ready to go. I was like ready to get an Olympic gold medal. Like I felt like no one could touch me. And then boom, shut down. Boom, Olympics postponed. Boom, no contests. So it was hard for me to kind of swallow that pill, but now it's kind of like I'm thankful for it. It's made me a better man and a better bike rider to be ready for next year coming up in 2021.
So somewhere in the midst of all this, you went back to Australia. You had to sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks, and it looks like you're pretty well settled. So are you officially a full-time Australia resident once again?
I am, yeah. It was a hard thing for me to do, because I'm as much as I love Australia where I'm from. I grew up in Sydney, and there was nothing really to ride in Sydney besides Five Dock, and everyone works, so no one rides during the day. And I was riding full time when I was younger. When I first moved to America, that was why I moved to America, man, because no one rode in Sydney, and there was no like park for me to practice my tricks to ride events like box jumps and wooden ramps and stuff like that. There was nothing like that in Sydney for me to ride and have access to practice. Plus, Australia is really far away from everything, as you know. Like to go to Europe is pretty much like a 2-day trip just to go to France, and America's really far away. Same as, I mean, China's pretty much our only strong point, but it's only a 3-hour difference between Australia and Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So it's not a one of the biggest reasons why I moved to America is because of the travel and because of I was riding with Daniel every single day and Marin, Justin, all those great guys, and there was no one like that, no environment like that in Sydney, and that's why I moved to America. And I started doing better because I moved to America. As you know, like when I moved to North Carolina, my results went up, everything went up, and won an X Games, got medal the year I moved to America. Won a world championship the year I moved to America, and it was 2018-19 were just great years. And when the pandemic started, and my girlfriend was like, "Hey, let's go to Australia for 2-3 months and just stay there and get away from all this craziness," because we saw how great Australia was doing against COVID-19, and we just wanted to be back to normal, man. We wanted to feel safe outside. We wanted to feel like we weren't under attack per se as we were in North Carolina. So we left in June, on June 14th, and got to Sydney on the 16th of June, and didn't get out of quarantine until I think July 1st, maybe June 29th, around there. So we were stuck in a hotel room, man, for literally 14 days, where we just we never went past the front door. And it was a crazy situation, but I'm thankful for it because it literally gave us our life back. And we could go to the shops, we could walk outside, we can shake hands, we can see our loved ones, we can do what normal life is, right? And we came to the Gold Coast in, I think, the 15th of July. We were supposed to come up here in August, and because Melbourne had a really, really bad outbreak, second wave with COVID-19, and Queensland, the state of Queensland, opened the borders pretty much to everyone. And then when Melbourne started shitting the bed with COVID, we heard that they were going to close the borders completely to the whole country. So we were just like, Sydney's like a 9-hour drive from Queensland, so we're like, let's just pack the car and just go. And we've been up here since the 13th, 15th of July, and we haven't left yet. So we were supposed to go back to America on the 15th of September, and we haven't left, and we rented a house here, and we're here. Well, I'm here for good. I don't know what she's doing, but we're just here for good, and I'm thankful for it. It's great. It's great what we have here, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, really.
So you mentioned it's some issues with Australia being not having people to ride with and not having good stuff to ride. It looks like now that you're in a new location, you are surrounded by guys that ride really well, and it looks like you have a new spot to ride. So what's going on with all that?
Well, as I said before, I'm from Sydney, and Sydney is a 10-hour drive from the Gold Coast. So when I originally went back to Sydney to see my family and stuff, I was supposed to only come up here for a month and ride and stuff, and because the Cycling Australia hub is up here, like Wade Boots and Eric, they're all up here. Training centers up here, Logan's up here. It was going to be a good month, and it was so good that I ended up not leaving. So, but I'm not from the Gold Coast, I'm not from Queensland, but what made me scared about moving back to Australia was me losing again. I didn't want to go, I was doing so well in America that I didn't want to kind of move backwards per se. And that was the biggest fear about me moving back to Australia, essentially, was that I was going to be doing, that again. Because I've seen it happen with a lot of other riders, not just from Australia, from other countries that have spent 2-3 years in America and they did really great, and then they just got homesick and went home and tried to make it work at home, and it never went back to where it was before. And I didn't want to be one of those guys, and that's one of That's why I wanted to stay in America. I bought a house in America. That's why I wanted to stay there, and ended up, renting my house out in America, and now I'm living in the Gold Coast. So I'm not from the Gold Coast. I've never lived in the Gold Coast before, but I'm glad I moved up here. It's a great lifestyle up here. We have great parks to ride and lots of great riders to ride up here with, and there's more riders moving up here too. So the sessions are only going to get better and better, and the level's just only going to get higher and higher. So I'm excited for the times ahead, and the scene of BMX in Australia is definitely looking strong.
All right, we had a few technical difficulties due to Brandon driving in the middle of nowhere, but we have him back now. And Brandon, I think where we left off, I was asking you about the new skate park you guys are riding down there. What can you tell me about that place?
Yeah, the new skate park is incredible. It's called the Hot Box. We call it the Hot Box because it just gets so hot in there and so sweaty really fast. Like, we built it in the wintertime and it felt like summer straight away. So why not call it the Hot Box, right? So yeah, Jason Watts built it. It's pretty simple design. It's just 11-foot quarter before the box, resi quarter, resi spine with a fat spine and a vert wall. And we also have a foam pit with 2 quarter pipes on each side of the foam pit to practice our quarter pipe tricks too. So yeah, it's cool. It's there for us to practice for the Olympics until August-ish. So it's only there for the year. So it's a lot of fun, man. It's Jason did a really good job, and I'm super thankful for Cycling Australia for everything they've done for us to have this training facility and have it for us to practice our tricks inside away from the wind, because it gets quite windy up here. So and also get out of the weather as well. So it's just absolute blessing. I'm real thankful for it, and my friends and I can ride it, and we also have incredible training sessions there too. We have a really good crew that come out and ride with us, and yeah, the sessions just go off. So yeah, the skate park is just incredible.
So do you feel like between the crew you're riding with, riding Logan's Place, riding this hot box spot, do you feel like you're getting the same experience you were getting in the States? Your riding's able to stay at the highest level it could be?
Definitely, and I think that's what's given me more clarity about moving back to Australia, is that my riding level is only going to elevate. It's not going to plateau or get even worse like it was, when I was riding in Sydney, because that was kind of what I was hesitant about moving back to Australia. All in general was just I didn't want to go backwards like I was, because I've been going back and forth from the States for like 10 years now, and I only made the full move to America in 2018. Like rented a room off Brian Fox in 2018 in Raleigh, and going back and forth those 8 years, like I'd get really good in America, like I'd feel really good, and then I'd have to, like, when I go back to Sydney, I would just go backwards. So I just didn't want to go through that again, and just for the sake of being in my home country before the Olympics. But now that we have this hot box spot, and Logan's like a good friend of mine, and we ride together all the time, and we push each other, and we also ride Beanley, and Beanley is kind of like a feast style setup now, and the ramps are insanely big at Beanley, so ride there a lot. And we also ride the Village every now and again, and dude, there's so many places to ride up here. It's just incredible. So the scene's just definitely not like it is in America. I think it's just a whole different atmosphere, and I'm just completely in love with it up here. Don't want to leave, and it's just incredible, really.
Do you feel like it's going to be a hindrance to your riding when the hot box goes away, if it goes away after the Olympics?
I'm not trying to think that far ahead, really. I know that it's a huge thing in my riding. The hot box is definitely helping. So hopefully Cycling Australia can help us keep it after the Olympics, and see if we can, or even something better shows up after the Olympics. But right now we're just aiming towards July 30th, 2021. So if that's if that's the only time I have it for to help me achieve the goal I want to achieve at the Olympics, then I know 100% that the Australian government will make something happen anyway for all of us to ride, not just private as well.
Are you still feeling good? Is the Olympics still your main focus? You're still on track. Everything looks good. You're staying positive.
Phone background, still the Olympic gold medal. So I I haven't steered away from it by any means. If anything, I've just bettered my riding was so high. My riding level's so high that I felt like my body and my health, just like my health, couldn't keep up to par with it. I was taking like weeks off on end, and because I was just so tired and so sore. Now that Daniel will be the first one to tell you, I wasn't a gym guy when I lived in North Carolina, and I wasn't a healthy eater as well, and I wasn't just an active guy. I was kind of like what Justin Dowell is, man. How he just played video games and just rode BMX and just chilled for the rest of the day. That was me when I lived in North Carolina, and it obviously worked. I did really well, but it kind of made me wonder. Like Daniel said something really, what that stuck to me was that it's not, he doesn't go to the gym to be a better rider. He goes to the gym so he can ride longer and ride at the level he's at for longer. And I admire Daniel, and he's done a lot in his career, and he's if anything, he's still getting better. So I kind of want to follow in those footsteps, and I took that in. I sucked it up like a sponge and started doing this gym deal, and I'm feeling really good, and I'm only getting better. I'm getting stronger. I feel like I've got that Brett Banner sandwich pump, and I'm not like pedaling in between ramps anymore. I'm kind of using my wrists, my ankles, and my knees all to like pump through the ramp and get more speed rather than just pedal. So it's definitely helped me out a lot, but it's just one of those things that you just got to keep up, really.
So do you think it's safe to say, as bad of a year as 2020 was, you're coming out of it in a better position?
Long story short, yes. I definitely think that if the Olympics happened this year, that I wouldn't be as thankful as I am for what I do. Obviously I'm not the guy to take anything for granted. I'm very thankful for everything I have. But this pandemic, this lockdown, and the COVID-19 virus has definitely taught me that what we do for a living, like you included, is just we get to travel the world doing great shit with our friends and ride bikes and just make memories. And this virus took all that away, and it kind of made me thankful for what we actually do for a living and just appreciate it for as long as we can, because obviously this ain't forever. So it kind of sucks that we had to, this virus took a year off our career, possibly longer. But I'm just gonna not think about it as like, oh, I would have a better career if the coronavirus didn't happen. I'm just gonna make the most of it while I still can.
So there you have it. Brandon Loupos once again lives in Australia. Everything seems to be going well, and he is a happy man. Is there anything else you care to add?
Dude, I just want to say that everyone in North Carolina, I love you all, and this is a pretty crazy move for me to come back to Australia, but I wish none of you all the best of health and stay safe, and obviously all my friends in the US and obviously around the world facing the coronavirus. I hope you all stay safe and make the best out of your situation. And also just want to thank Kyle Carlson from Vital BMX for this interview. It's always fun talking to my friend Kyle. You obviously know how to ask real good questions to dig into the core and get the good answers out of me. So thanks, Kyle. You look great. Hopefully one day when you come to Australia, when this COVID-19 ends, you can come drive my new Ford Raptor. And obviously, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports me. I want to thank Rockstar Energy Drink. I want to thank Hyper Bicycles, Snafu BMX Vans. I also want to thank Cycling Australia for giving me such a great situation in the Gold Coast to practice to be better than who I was last year and the year before. Obviously, just to be the best possible version of myself and elevate my riding and my sport as well. Also, just want to keep thanking everyone who supports me. I want to thank my family. I want to thank all my friends from around the world. And I just also want to thank the Lord for blessing me with such a great life. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video. And stay tuned for Vital BMX for more uploads like this.
Brandon Loupos, ladies and gentlemen.